Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at what is the resistance value on the Von DUPRIN 050535. This is a solenoid plunger is what it is. Solenoid and plunger. And this is really interesting. So this is a solenoid, and first of all, what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to test its resistance. What is the resistance measured in ohms? When you have an exit device that isn't working, something's not working, you need to, with any electrical circuit, you need to narrow down what's not working. You can test for voltage really easily off your power supply. You can put your leads right on the power supply output terminals and see whether or not you're getting voltage, and if you're getting the correct amount of voltage. You can also test for voltage at the device, on the wires going to the device. You can test for voltage there. You can also test for the amp draw as well. And in order to test for an amperage draw, you have to basically have your leads in line and you have to power the circuit. So you'll be able to see how much amperage is being requested or pulled through the entire circuit is what it is, the conductor, the wires basically. And the reason that that's important to do is because it will lead you towards looking at the load, and in this case the solenoid, to wonder if it's asking for too much voltage, asking for too much amperage, if there's too much amperage draw. One way to determine that as well is if there's a problem with the windings inside of the solenoid. If there is a short, you'll get a value of resistance that is not what it's supposed to be. You can easily measure resistance with a multimeter, and the only thing that you need other than a multimeter to measure resistance is you have to know what the resistance value is, what it's supposed to be, so that you can determine whether or not there's clearly a short or a potential short happening inside of the unit or not. Testing voltage is always the easiest thing first. Measuring amperage, you can do that. You just have to be in line with the entire circuit and power it. But taking this right off your desk and measuring ohms or measuring resistance is really the thing to do, because you don't have to test for amperage in line. So it's a very common question that we get. So the question becomes is, what is the proper value of resistance for this solenoid? And that resistance is very interesting. Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the way that this solenoid works is that it has three terminals, or three pins. There is a green, an orange, and a yellow. And what that does is that this solenoid actually has two coils, one to push and one to pull. And that makes sense to me, because if you have electric latch retraction, you can have the plunger push and then activate whatever is activating, or pull and deactivate whatever is needing to be deactivated, like a latch retraction, the retraction of a latch. When electricity goes through a coil of wires, if you take wires and you like you take a extension cord and do this to it, if you did that with wires, okay, how many windings, the gauge of the wire, how much footage of the wire is used, all of that will give you, all the science behind that will give you a specific magnetic field. Electricity run through a coil generates a magnetic field, and in fact, that's how transformers work. That, in fact, is how your charging works on your phone when you lay it on your charger. That's how it works. A magnetic field is generated because there's electricity running through something. It's that magnetic field that takes the ferrous plunger and moves it. In lots of instances, you'll have the power turned on, the magnetic field is generated, the plunger will go in, go out, whatever the functionality of the lock is, fail safe, fail secure. There can usually be a spring that will just return it to its rest state, but this has two coils because I think they need a substantial amount of force in both directions, would be my guess, that a spring taking it to its rest state or open circuit state is not going to accomplish. So the pulling coil is across, and I'm just reading it from Von DUPRIN, is across the green and yellow wires. That dimension, pardon me, that measurement is to be between 1 and 2 ohms. Ohms was a scientist. You can easily research the name Ohm and find, I forget his first name and when he lived. He could have been probably 19th century would be my guess. Don't quote me. He could have been earlier than that. So green and yellow is going to be the pulling coil. Between 1 and 2 ohms is normal. 1.4 is considered ideal. That's the pulling. The holding coil, which is the pull. The holding coil is across the green and the orange wires, and that will show between 110 and 130 ohms. 118 is considered ideal or perfect, as Von DUPRIN says. So we're going to use my multimeter here. We're going to switch camera view, and I'm going to show you how to measure this, and then you're going to know exactly whether or not you have a bad solenoid. Let's do that now. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, let's test what we have going here. We have our multimeter, a very inexpensive multimeter. I have a more expensive one. Quite frankly, this is the one I use all the time because it's the one at my desk. So we're going to be looking for one to pull and one to hold. The pulling coil is across green and yellow, and that's between 1 and 2 ohms, with 1.4 considered perfect. So we're going to turn on our unit. I've got my 2 leads here. I'm just going to remove my tips. It doesn't matter which tip touches what wire. You're not running you're running a very tiny amount of voltage through this, micro voltage. So we need to go across green and yellow. So green is this outside here, and yellow is the opposite side. Oh. Okay. So between 1 and 2, and 1.4 is considered perfect. Sorry, my wire leads are kind of jumping around inside of here, is what the issue is. .6, 1.5. So 1.4, considered perfect. Okay. So we know that our pulling coil is perfect. Now let's test our holding coil, and that's between green and orange. That's the middle wire. Green, orange, yellow. And that's supposed to be between 110 and 130. So let's test that. With 118 being perfect. So very much, very, very, very much within range. And all I'm doing is touching my probes against the associated wires. That's all that's being done here. And that's how you test for resistance measured in ohms on this Von DUPRIN 050535. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Actually, before we wrap up this video on camera, let's take a look at some images of this unit. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos in the sense that, you know, it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something, or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so here is the item in the website, the solenoid and the plunger. You're going to connect it mechanically. I think I'm quite sure that I had it inserted in reverse. I think I know that I did. So I've got it shown here. Well, anyway, we'll get that corrected. Oh, I don't have it inserted at all. Okay. The point being is this angled component is what goes inside. The rest of your equipment's going to attach to the end of it. Here's your item. Parts manuals are here. The images that I have of it are here. If you have a Doramatic 971687, this will be the replacement for it. Windings, certainly. Magnetic field. If I were to power this and bring a magnet to it, yeah, you'll see an effect on the magnet. Wire lead, pixelated picture just showing you the connector, I suppose. Plunger. That's that. Now, there's a link below this video, as seen here, to the manufacturer's page, and from here you can pull up not only all of the Von Duprin products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, and up here, a couple 3 dozen encyclopedic documents, templates, parts drawings, reference manuals, just individual section catalogs, things of that nature. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Regarding the links to ads that you might see in this video, we do apologize for any interruption to a smooth viewing experience, and hopefully the ads that are being presented to you are related to the base product. And if there is something, feel free to click on those and perhaps consider taking a look at what that other advertiser is promoting. Let's get back to the video. In conclusion, if you have any questions on troubleshooting your Von Duprin exit device, please feel free to reach out to us. We are certainly happy to help you determine what parts are needed. Sometimes clients will call and say, give me one of these and give me both of them, give me all of it. I'm not sure what's wrong. Okay, these parts are hundreds of dollars. This literally is probably less than $30. A little bit of knowledge, a very small investment. You're troubleshooting these the rest of your life. Any questions on this or any other Von Duprin product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.